Let's go to Jared Moskowitz, Florida Congressman, Democrat, very young congressman, very fit as a fiddle. Congressman, you've no doubt been asked about this. Many of your colleagues in the Democratic Party assessing the president's fitness for office and his age. Of course, now Republicans concerned about the fitness of Mitch McConnell and whether he's still up to the job. What do you think of all of this back and forth on age?
Yeah, well, thanks, Neil. Well, look, this has been an age-old question that, we've had in the past. It's not the first time this has been asked about certain senators who obviously have served into their 90s in there. Strom Thurmond, right, being one example of how far back this question goes. And so, look, that's a good debate, right? It goes into the question of should we have term limits? Should we have age limits? There are some members that have filed bills to try to do that. None of those bills are moving. And look, I think it's a fair question. That being said, I'll tell you this: there's a lot of experience with these folks. They have a lot of experience. They have a lot of knowledge. They know how the process works, which is important to make progress. And so, you don't want to lose people that really know how to get things done, both in the House and the Senate. As a freshman who's been there 8 months, I can tell you that seniority matters a little bit to try to get things done in these chambers.
I guess it depends how senior you are, to your point, Congressman. If I can just veer to an issue for the young and old alike in the next couple of weeks, keeping the government lights on and the government functioning. There's a great divide here about another spending measure to do just that, and very few weeks to get it under control before potentially we could shut down. Are you worried?
I am worried. I mean, listen, I've been saying during the debt limit discussions that I'm for spending less, but shutting the government down is irresponsible. And using that as a threat to try to get what you want is also irresponsible, right? Some of my colleagues in the Freedom Caucus have been using that as a way to control spending. Oh, here's how we'll control spending. We'll shut the government down and we'll spend no money. Well, for someone like me, who's the former director of emergency management, the state of Florida is going through Hurricane Idalia. Shutting the government down means those cities, those towns, those counties are not going to get the FEMA reimbursement money that they need because, as you know, FEMA's DRF is running dry, the Disaster Recovery Fund, right, which is why myself and Senator Rubio have bills to do that. So shutting the government down, hurting our veterans, hurting our seniors with Social Security, people who depend on the government to survive, that is not a lever that should be used in negotiations. But listen, it is a fair question to ask how much government should spend. And I think as the American people tighten their spending belts, so should government.
There are a lot of people in your state, very popular state. I think you're in the Palm Beach County area, correct me if I'm wrong, Congressman?
Yeah, I'm in North Broward, South Palm Beach. That's right.
Got it. All right. But there are a lot of folks who are saying that because property insurance policies have gotten so pricey, some of them want to roll the dice and say, I don't need it. It's cheaper, even if my home is badly damaged, to fix it on my own because I'm paying that in a few years' worth of policy premiums. What do you tell them?
Well, look, the home insurance market has problems right now in Florida, right? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about Hurricane Michael, a Category 5 storm. Let's talk about Hurricane Ian, a Category 4 storm. Let's talk about Hurricane Idalia, a Category 4 storm. That's in 4 years.
Yeah.
All of those events have hit the state of Florida. So it's no doubt the algorithms for the insurance companies are blinking red. But look, Florida has always been exposed to hurricanes, but now these storms are obviously much stronger. They get into the Gulf of Mexico, which is basically a hot tub, and they experience rapid intensification. Tallahassee had ignored this problem for a long time, but I got to be honest, I actually think this problem is bigger now than one state. This is going to come to Alabama. It's going to come to Mississippi. It's going to come to Louisiana. It's going to come to Texas. It's going to come to California. It's going to come to where we have Tornado Alley. This is something that we're going to have to address as a country. Federal government doesn't have all the answers. Perhaps they need to be at the table to make sure that the insurance market doesn't become unaffordable for Americans.
And you're quite right. This run-up in property insurance policies is a nationwide phenomenon. These double-digit increases year over year are real. Congressman, very good seeing you again. Thank you.
Thanks, Neil.